As working moms, we carry so much pressure. There are huge expectations from work, from home, not to mention the school. Plus, we also carry our children's anxiety, their social stress, and their school schedules. Pressure is like a high data usage app constantly running in the background. But what is it doing to us and our children, and what can we do to opt out? You're listening to the Moments podcast for working moms building careers, raising families, and trying their best on the tightrope between work and home. I'm your host, Madge, and my guest is actress and mom of two, Rolanda Marais. Welcome, Rolanda.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So, on the topic of pressure, can you even remember the last time you didn't feel under pressure?
No, I think that the last time I didn't feel under pressure was when I was still without kids.
Absolutely. Because even then, before we had kids, there's so much pressure to make more money or to climb the professional ladder or find a husband. And then you have kids, and it just amplifies this feeling of constant pressure.
Yeah, I think for me, when you talk about pressure, the type of pressure that I thought was pressure then before kids, looking back, feels like it was a breeze. That's why I said it literally only started for me once I became a mother. All the books you had to read on how to put your baby to sleep, all the information that you constantly get to do the perfect thing, to be the perfect mother, to raise a perfect baby or child. Oh, it's just like the pressure just amplified. And that's exactly when, yeah, when I last rested.
Absolutely. So we also feel this pressure, like you said, amplified, but then we start noticing it that our kids are also, it's building up in them. Can you remember the first time you noticed your children feeling pressure?
So my daughter's 9 now. My son is 3 years old. I remember when she was in grade R, she started not wanting to go to school anymore. And I didn't understand why, because they're still supposed to be playing. But then I realized they're prepping the kids for grade 1. And I think she just didn't want to sit still. She struggled sitting still, and she just, I think, already felt that she should be able to sit still, and she should be able to listen all the time, and she should be able to do the things and the type of drawings that the kids next to her do, and that's when I realized she's already starting to feel the pressure of school, and she's not even in school yet.
Yes. So there's such a big difference from when we started school and grade 1 now. My daughter's in grade 1 and she's just 6 years old. She can count to 100. She's writing spelling tests every week. And when I was that age, I was cutting out pictures from magazines that started with an A or a B.
Yes.
It's like a completely different dynamic that our kids have to navigate. So do you think some of this pressure comes from us? Like, because we are always under pressure, the kids are picking it up from us, even without us realizing it.
No, absolutely. And that's what I've realized with her now being in grade 3. The last 3 years of her being at school, I've realized that the the pressure, look, school is school, that you can't get around that system. But the amount of pressure that's being put on the parents is severely, it is unfair. Um, and the kids, they sense it. They can immediately sense it. The amount of times a parent would come to me and say, "Oh my gosh, the test tomorrow, the test, we still need to study for the test. We still need to study for the test." And the kid is in grade 1. And I just thought, this does not feel right. This does not feel right. I don't remember feeling any pressure when I was in school when I was that age. And I really don't think that we should put the pressure on our kids. So it's on us to make sure that we don't take it on, so that our kids have a more relaxed learning environment when they are at home. We don't need to tell them to do their best and to work hard. We don't need to tell them anything. The school is already putting the pressure on them. We actually need to be there to tell them, it's okay. It's okay. Don't stress about it. Don't worry about it. Let's do what we can do today. And then tomorrow's another day. I remember when I was in high school, I had to write a math test and I hated maths. And around 10 o'clock at night, I went into my parents' bedroom with the book, the textbook. That's what you call it, the textbook, the maths book. And I threw it against the wall and I said, I hate maths. And my mom said, you know what? I'm telling you now that you're allowed to fail tomorrow. You're not going to fail your grade. You don't have to stress about it anymore. Please don't stress. Go and fail and let's move on. Obviously, I didn't, but it made me feel so calm. The fact that my mom went, you know what? Screw that. Go to bed. Go and fail. You'll be fine. And obviously, I didn't fail, but I felt, yeah, and I will always remember that moment. And that's the type of mother I want to be. I want my child to know that being the best, doing, getting good grades isn't important. What is important is that whatever you do because you want to do it and that you enjoy doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think permission is such an important word that you just said, the permission to pause and to relax and just to take it day by day. A previous guest on this podcast said that rest is also productive. You're also doing something when you're resting. So that landed for me because we sometimes feel like when we take the pressure off, when we're not being productive, we're failing. And it's so absolutely not true.
Just to add on to that is that I've had moments where my daughter, when we had to do homework, she would just start refusing to do it. And she'll say she's tired. She's been so busy the whole day, extramurals, this and that. And then I've caught myself going, come. Just another 10 minutes. Let's just finish this. And I've started saying to myself, I shouldn't be pushing her like this. It's just homework. And so I've gotten to a stage where I told her, okay, it's fine. Let's leave the homework for today. And I find that despite that, she's still getting good grades and she's still fine, but she's a lot calmer and I'm a lot calmer. So I'm really working hard at not sweating the small stuff and not buying into the pressure or into this hype of outcome. This outcome based teaching method for me is horrible because I feel each child has his own process, and I think schools and teachers should focus on the process of each child and commend them on that as opposed to commending them on the grades that they get.
And on the homework subject, I sometimes feel like it damages my relationship with my children because I'm always nagging them. They are tired. They don't want to do it. And I have this fear that they'll look back one day and remember me as this person who was always nagging them about homework instead of just being with them.
Yeah, I fell into that trap this morning because Charlotte had choir yesterday and she didn't get to her homework. And this morning she came into the bedroom and gave me a kiss. I said, homework. And I just kind of went, why did I do that? Why didn't I just say, good morning, my love? The first word that came out of my mouth was homework. Anyway, because I said to her, tomorrow morning early, you can do your homework. So, but yeah, she didn't, and she ended up not doing the homework. But I just, it's just horrible. It's exactly that thing where the relationship between you and your kids, there's this constant, I feel like I'm constantly nagging. And I'm not a nagger. I hate nagging. And like you said, I don't want my child to remember me as the nagger. So some people are lucky they can outsource. Some people outsource. They're like, okay, the the grandmother will do the homework, or the father can do the homework when he gets home from work. And that's what I do now. I don't do homework with my daughter anymore, because I feel it damages our relationship and just the type of, yeah, connection that we have. She prefers doing homework with her father, but she also has an amazing teacher this year who allows them to do their homework during school hours, so they don't have a lot of homework at home, because this teacher said kids should be playing in the afternoon. They shouldn't be sitting with more work, especially at this age.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I'm lucky my kids do most of their homework at aftercare, but when they do extramurals, it has to happen at home. But then they even more tired, and it ends up in a much bigger fight than it would have
Yeah,
been.
yeah, no, it's terrible.
So schools are not necessarily the enemy here, because they are navigating their own pressures that we don't always understand. But practically speaking, have you ever addressed it with the school that you feel like your child is under too much pressure, or that something doesn't feel right in this whole system?
It's very hard because you don't want to become that mother, you know? So I've decided to take it onto myself, and if I can see my daughter has had a hectic day at school and she's completely overstimulated and she needs to rest, and she has had an extramural, I don't know, dance or whatever, and she doesn't want to do homework, I send the teacher a message via Teams nowadays. You don't have their personal number, and I just say, "I'm sorry, we didn't get to homework. Charlotte was really tired yesterday," and it's an apology, but it's also me going, "I'm looking after my child's well-being." And she actually also said, the teacher said to us, when we had a meeting with her, she said, "Don't you? It's not our responsibility to teach the kids anything. It's her responsibility. What we do is we just kind of go over it again. We don't need to teach her anything. So we shouldn't be sitting there trying to get them to get it right. That is the school's job, I think. I think we should just support and sit there and see what they do and how they do it, and maybe just, positively reinforce when they do get something right. Um, but I do feel that a lot of parents take on the pressure and they don't address it, and I can see how it affects their kids. And I have made a complete turn the last year with my daughter, and I can see the results in her personality. It's like I have my daughter back again. She's not anxious anymore. She jumps up. She wants to go to school. Um, I think the fact that I've told us that she doesn't have to do any sports because she doesn't enjoy sports. I decided she doesn't have to do any of that. She can do whatever she likes, and it's at this point it's acrobatics and dancing. And I think we really need to look after our kids. They need to get home and they need to rest and they need time to play. They can't be going from the one thing to the next. It's not healthy for them. So I used to want her to do chess and this and that and that and this and hockey and now I've just gone back and said, okay, Charlotte, what do you enjoy doing? And she's guiding me towards her interests as opposed to me forcing my interests or what I think she should be interested in onto her.
That is such a fabulous outlook, that the your child is guiding you instead of the other way around, because I think there's a very fine line between encouraging your child and adding to the pressure. And I think that's where so many of us go wrong, because the kids feel like they need to make us proud and they need to live up to our standards or our expectations. And it's the other way around. We need
Yeah,
to let them guide us. Exactly what you're saying. That's such good
yeah.
advice.
Yeah. And the other thing that I just thought about now as well, these little tests that they write on Fridays or whatever, I try to ignore the fact that it's going to happen. We don't even speak about it. Because I think just the mere fact that you go, come, 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 you're writing a test tomorrow, so let's just get this, you need to know this by tomorrow or for tomorrow. That's putting pressure on them. By saying
Mm.
good luck with your test, that puts pressure on you because then they're like, oh, okay, okay, I must perform. You say good luck to someone when you know they need luck. And so we need to kind of be so aware of the language we use when we think we're encouraging, but actually what we do is we're putting on more pressure.
Yeah, you are so, so right. It's all in the language we use that we add to their anxiety. Because I can
Yeah.
also realize already my almost 9-year-old, he lives with anxiety, which I never experienced as a child, ever. So, yeah, it's very much to do with the language, the way we approach absolutely everything. We need to tone it down.
Yeah, and no one's going to tone it down from the school side because they need to perform. They need to show the parents that they're doing the best they can, so the kids will, become successful human beings. So we, as the parents, need to take it onto ourselves to tone it down because there's a lot of noise out there and a lot of pressure, and we are raising a very anxious generation, and it's worrying. So it's our responsibility to not to sweat the small stuff, to force the kids to play outside and to tell them not to worry about homework today, and to tell them to, to 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 give this, maybe have a nice day at home and skip school, or to make them realize that school isn't everything, doing well isn't everything, having fun is everything. There needs to be a balance, obviously, but um, school can't be hard, not at this age, because I can't even imagine what it would be like when they have to actually study to become, for their careers, become successful career people. Oh my word. No, me talking, I'm getting worried just sitting here for my child's
Yeah.
future. I just want them to relax. I just want them to not put so much pressure on themselves, because as a human being, me as an individual, I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I have to constantly rein myself in and go, do not do this. Do not put it upon your child. That it's her
Mm.
journey. She needs to guide me. She needs to decide for herself that she wants to do well in certain subject. I can't tell her that she has to do well. I can just try and help her to see the magic in the subject that she's interested in.
Yeah, that's beautiful to see the magic and to find the joy in learning and to love school, not just because it's a place where you can perform or be good at something, but because they are friends and because you are still becoming and they are guiding you to become the best version of yourself. So you said you put a lot of pressure on yourself. What do you do to take off the pressure when you feel overwhelmed?
That's interesting because I used to always go and do yoga so that I can relax, but I don't have that luxury at the moment because I've got a 3-year-old who doesn't sleep well. So I do the very least. But what I started doing is in the mornings, um, when I write out what needs to happen that day, I I write at the bottom, if you don't get everything done, it's okay. And I draw a little heart. So I just kind of put a little self-love in. I do the kind of things that I now do to my kids. I do it to myself. And I never used to do that. I always used to be extremely hard on myself. And now I'm like, hey man, you're okay. And if you don't get to all the stuff today, it's also okay. And I actually smiled. I was like, that's so ridiculous. But there's something in there that if you nurture yourself the way you nurture your kids, then I think you will be a better parent anyway, because children pick up on the little minute level of anxiety that you have. And if there's a calm environment in the house between the parents, or just the one parent, the kids will be calmer. And it's hectic because it's all on us then. But I mean,
Yeah.
we had the kids, so we need to do something about it. Yeah,
No, just hearing you say it's all on us and we need to create this calm environment, I can feel the pressure rising up in
exactly.
me.
It's ironic.
Yeah, but it's very true. We need to set the tone and we need to show them through our own actions. And it's very interesting that you said you sometimes you take the way you nurture your kids to nurture yourself. And it's something I've also noticed that the way we teach our children is such a reminder for ourselves how we can take those principles and just apply it to our own lives. And it really, really works. It's amazing.
It does. And I've just realized, and I think a lot of parents don't get to that point where when you have kids, you don't teach them, they teach you. They teach you how to be a better parent. They teach you how to treat them. If you're in tune with your child, they will guide you what they to what they need and what their desires are. And if we do it the other way around, if you force things onto them, you're pushing them away or you're making them feel less important. I feel, and I know I keep on repeating myself, but I really feel that a child needs to be seen and heard, just like all human beings, but often children are being left with a feeling of, okay, I'm just a child, so I should listen to my parents, you know? A lot of parents say, because I said so. No, I said so. And if the child goes, why? Just, I'm the mom. I said so. I really feel,
Mm.
and I was brought up with such respect for my parents. They talked to us like we were little grown-ups, which kids are. Their souls are already fully grown and developed, and they they are actually. They're just little beings that these souls in these little bodies. But the souls know, so we don't need to treat them like they are less than us. We need to treat them like they're the little Buddhas with the wisdom. We need to be curious when they say something, and that's how you get to know your child.
It's beautiful. I love what you just said. It's so true. And they are just little people with a lot of wisdom. And sometimes they say silly things, but it's so true. It's so true. It's like they understand life in a completely different way. And it's like a lens to see life through their eyes. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids keep reminding me to literally stop and smell the roses. It's wonderful. It's a blessing. Seeing the wonder of every single age they're in instead of wishing them to grow up. I've got this 3-year-old. We didn't plan to have another baby. I'm 48 with a 3-year-old, and it's challenging. And I have to keep reminding myself that this little boy is going to grow up so fast. So I need to enjoy every single moment of his neediness, or whatever. And yeah, we need to see the wonder in every single age.
Yeah. That's very, very true. I also remember wishing my children were bigger. And now I look back and I think, oh my gosh, what was I thinking?
Mm,
So,
yeah.
Rolanda, if there's a mom listening and she feels a bit anxious about what we've said, she feels like if I don't pressure my child, him or she's gonna fall behind. What is your message to that mom?
Think if the fact that you're already worried about that makes you a good mother already. I feel that you should not put so much pressure on yourself. I think you should know that the work that you put in just at home, just being a mother, talking to your kids, sitting with them, being there for them is enough at this age, at this stage. I feel the more you force your child to comply and to do the homework and to listen to the teacher, the less you teach them to think independently and be creative. And I think it's really important to rather to skip the homework for that afternoon and say, what do you want to do? And go sit and connect, because the kids want connection more than anything. And I think if they feel safe and they feel that you trust them, the fact that you said, let's leave the homework, let's just hang out. If they feel that you trust them and you like them, they will trust and like themselves. Am I making sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think that's a wonderful message to send out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think put down the phone also, we're on our phones constantly because we're still working at home. I think the best thing you can do for your child is put that phone away and go and see what they're interested in, especially the tweens, because I mean the music they listen to and the stuff, the weird things that they're into is actually, it's important for us to know what it is that makes them tick, and to not judge it, but to be curious about what it is, and to open that door and to say, "What are you busy with? Can I hang out? Would you like some tea? Would you like some hot chocolates?"
So, if you could send a Mother's Day message to every South African mom, something she could hold on to when the school WhatsApp group is sending her into a spiral, what would that be?
No one's going to die if you don't do every single thing the school expects you to do. No one's going to die. So spend less time worrying about what is expected of you and your child, and spend more time with your child and enjoy them.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Rolanda. You shared so many relatable moments and wisdom and insights and practical stuff we can do to take the pressure off and just to enjoy our kids.
Thank you. It's been wonderful sharing this. I just have to say I'm not a perfect mom, and I constantly feel that I'm failing. And I think that's only human. But if you trust your gut, I believe that you will do the right thing as a mother.
We are raising the most scheduled, most assessed, and most observed generation of children in history. And somewhere in all of this noise, our kids just need us to put the phone down, make them a hot chocolate, and ask what makes them tick. You don't have to be the perfect mom. You just have to be their mom. And the fact that you're here, listening, thinking, reflecting, that already says everything. If this episode gave you something, a breath, a perspective shift, or even just the permission to skip homework tonight, please share it with another mom who needs to hear it. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you never miss another conversation like this one. Every single episode is made for you, the mom on the tightrope doing her absolute best. Until next time.